Tucker Carlson, Vinny posted this tweet yesterday, cracks up, gets a couple million views. Just go to Vinny. So this is Vinny's Twitter account. He says, this literally made me laugh. Folks,
I watch it right now.
If you're watching this with your kids, pause, because there's going to be a word being used that some of you guys may not want your younger kids to watch. And here, I'll give you a second. Having said that, here is Tucker Carlson sitting down with Piers. Piers is promoting his book that just came out, The Woke, I believe it's called. And here's what Tucker had to ask him. Go ahead, Rob.
Would you say the word faggot on camera?
No.
Why?
Because
You don't want to get arrested, do you?
it doesn't want to be arrested.
Oh, because it's so harmful to people?
No,
Is it like gay bashing? What's wrong with that?
No, would you use that word?
Faggot?
Yeah.
I just did.
Yeah, but would you
Faggot.
Okay, but why?
And I'm using it because you're not allowed to, because you're...
I'm allowed to.
Go ahead.
I don't want to.
Say, I love gay people. Faggot.
I'm allowed to. I just choose not to.
Would you say the word faggot
the context
on camera?
of this is he's Tucker is talking to him about, because this is a broader conversation about the censorship in Europe and what's happening, and them not being able to say anything, Pat, about immigration or anything. Because if you say anything, you're racist and all that stuff.
Which, by the way, Tucker has a point.
He does.
That you can't say this. And there are risks behind it. He has a point to say this. And Piers also represented what he doesn't want to say. Okay? And that's okay as well. You respect that. There's some words I know I can't say, I don't want to say. You know, when I had the conversation with Nick, and I'm like, hey, you don't need to say some of these words that you're using because you're already very good at what you do. You don't need to do that. But his argument is, hey, I also want to live in America to be able to say whatever the hell I want to say. His argument is also a good argument. But I have a theory.
Okay.
I have a theory, Vinny.
Bring it on.
And tell me if this is a dumb theory. And let's see what the audience can say.
Okay, let's hear it.
Maybe this is a dumb theory. Maybe it's not. Maybe it's whatever. I have a feeling, okay? Because do you know how many times have you heard Tucker say the F word before?
I don't think I have.
I don't
You
think
never
he's
have.
upset.
I personally,
Not that one.
Not that one. He said it once in 2006 on a radio call when he called in. It's the only time. 2006, which is 20 years ago. So Tucker also doesn't say that word, but he just started saying that word. Now, why is he saying that word? I believe, in the craziest way, that Nick Fuentes has influenced Tucker to speak freely and say whatever he wants to say on his mind. So Nick Fuentes has brought out the Nick Fuentes and Tucker Carlson out.
Wow.
Oh.
And Nick is kind of leading Tucker for Tucker to come out and say, man, if that guy's saying it, I want to say it as well. So I believe deep down inside, because Tucker was in such a organized, structured CNN, who was he with? Fox. And I think, was he with MSNBC? Not MSNBC.
Yes, he was.
He was with MSNBC.
And CNN and Fox.
Because he's been in such a system that you can never say something like this. And then he meets a younger guy that is saying, I'm going to say anything and everything. I think that kind of inspired Tucker to say, if he can say it, why can't I? And this isn't like, you should have never, how dare you put Nick on your podcast? No, I kind of did a month before he put him on. And we had a great conversation together. And it was a friendly convo that we had here. But to me, this is just saying that I think Nick is given permission for Tucker to use some of those words. And I know this kind of sounds weird, and some people are going to use this and say condescending and all. How dare you say stuff like this? Look, I'm just telling you. The only thing that you can look at is all these years he never spoke like this, and all of a sudden he is. Maybe it's because, like, hey, why can't I talk like that? Is this a crazy theory?
No, I don't think it's a crazy theory at all. I think you're bringing up something very, very interesting, is that the new media leadership, and let me translate that. This is the podcast and the alternative media, because old media is either dead or for sale or struggling. We can all agree on that.
Yeah.
You go to the Allen Company conference. Would you like to buy a CNN? No, it's not a copy. It's a real thing.
Yeah.
It's like a guy pulling out of his pocket. We know that's going on. And so new media is struggling. They bring in, our friend Weiss, and now she's in there running up and down the halls, hiring people, and they're called raising havoc. No, she's trying to fix CBS. So you have all those things going on. What is the group that it is emerging and is finding its way and finding its voice? And that is, guess what? Podcasting. And you've got Nick Fuentes who does those things. How can a media establishment guy, that's Tucker. He was a media establishment. A minute ago, Adam read the resume of all the regular media giants that he worked at. That was his legacy. That's where he was. He's the only person to ever work for the big three. There you
I'm
there
saying
you go.
Fox News,
Is he?
CNN, MSNBC. It's the only person who's had his own show on each of those networks.
Not even Wallace?
Nobody.
Just
Fact check me, please.
Stossel, Wallace, is he? Okay, maybe you're right.
Well, Chris Wallace was on CNN Plus for 1 minute and 42 seconds. That's the life of CNN Plus.
Yeah.
So you've got all this happening, and Nick Fuentes is out there sort of being Nick, being in his way, and just, you know, having his opinion, pushing hard, but rebelling against a lot of things that he feels, and rebelling against control systems, if you look at Nick. And so how can that not be influencing a guy who walked off Fox and has been a leader in the podcasting space, only to see people like Nick gaining traction? I think there is a cross-the-aisle influence there,
that?
and I think you're onto something.
Rob, what was the thing about what Adam said?
So Chris Wallace has appeared on shows on CNN.
But he didn't have a
and-
show.
No,
Tucker's
Tucker's,
on
the
the
only
show.
one. Yep.
Yeah,
Got it.
so
He's
I,
establishment
I
as
think
it
there's
gets.
something there. I agree with Pat.
I don't know if he's
not just to
establishment.
agree.
I don't put Tucker as establishment.
I'm saying
What I-
media establishment.
No, I get that. What I'm saying is Tucker was a guy that was in the establishment that hated it and wanted to be free. Because I believe Tucker looks at Nick and he sees himself. But he went a route that he couldn't speak that way. And Nick didn't come with a family who's been, you know, Voice of America and, you know, did what he did in the CIA. And Nick's like, no, I didn't come from a family like that. I'm going to say whatever hell I want to say, and he has nothing to lose, whereas Tucker has a lot to lose. Tucker could say stuff like that and lose sponsors. Nick doesn't. And by the way, for Nick's next phase of recreating himself, one of the things I respect about what Nick said is, I said, you know, what compliment can he give about Charlie? You know what he said? I have so much respect for how hard the guy works. And he says, I know later on, I think he said something like this, I know later on if I get into it, I'm going to have to do that as well. Maybe he said that. But I think for the next phase, he has to get the business side in. And the business side, there's elements of diplomacy, there's elements of partnership, there's elements of things like that that he'll need to get to, because he needs to make money so he can't be owned by anybody. You have to find a way to make some money. You have to, or else your donors are going to, because people are going to give you money, then what's going to happen? So I hope behind closed doors he has a plan as well. Whether you read the Kennedy book, The Family, or you read the Bush Family, they'll all say the same thing. Make money, protect your wife and your kids, then give back to the country that allowed you to make that money, okay? So he's got to find a way to get through that next phase. Adam, were you going to say anything on
I was
this?
going to say something. Just when I thought Tucker couldn't get any worse in my eyes, he goes and totally redeems himself and starts using the F word. Good for you, Tucker. To me,
Were you offended?
no, not at all. I mean, I used the F word on this podcast, and
remember.
No, you
people weren't
don't.
very happy
No,
with me, and
he
I won't
did.
use
No,
it.
no.
Because there's a difference between an F and a G. That's all I'm saying. Tucker, to me, you bring up a very good point. And I mean this in a not in a negative way, just in a factual way. I don't think Tucker is a leader. I think he's a follower. I think he sees what's going on out there and says, okay, all the cool racist kids are following Nick. F word, F word. And that's what he does. He never takes a stand against something that someone else hasn't already done. When I lost respect for Tucker is when he was on air defending Trump every single day. And then behind the scenes, he says, I hate this guy with a passion. Can't wait till he's out of office. You're gaslighting your audience to defend Trump January 6th. But behind closed doors, you're talking trash about Trump. You lost me, bro. I truly believe, remember when Tucker and Nick were feuding 3 to 6 months ago? And I was like, yeah, I trust Nick more than I trust Tucker. Because at least I think Nick isn't putting on an act. I genuinely think that he's anti-Semitic and anti-black and anti-immigrant. He's a Catholic
He doesn't hide it.
theocrat, and that's what he believes. And he believes that, Rome, his
You
words,
think
is
Nick is
the Vatican is
anti-Semitic?
more important. What's that?
You think Nick is anti-Semitic?
You think he hates Jewish people? Like in,
Yeah,
in
I'm willing
general?
I'm willing to bet that he's not a fan of the Jews.
No, I
Yes.
look, listen.
Israel, Jews, yes, not a fan.
Well,
when
Israel's
you
the-
shout the N-word like it's going out of style, you probably don't like black people. But by the way, I'm at Thanksgiving dinner last night, and one of my friend's younger nephews was like, dude, I watch you guys, PBD, I watch Candace, I watch Tucker, I watch Nick. Who's the one person he asked me about? He goes, tell me about Nick.
Yeah, he's,
I said he's super smart, super talented. I think he goes down the rabbit hole of very negative, ugly views, but I'm not saying he's an idiot. It's dismissive. I never say, Candace is an idiot. Tucker's an idiot. I say, no, they're smart people with very different viewpoints on things. I think Tucker, who was Tucker's audience for the last decade before? It was a Fox News crowd. How old is the Fox News crowd?
60 and up.
60 and up. It's like 80 and up. So Tucker's looking for a new audience out there, and he's in the YouTube world, and he sees this kid named Nick Fuentes and goes, oh, okay, here we go. Let me try to attract his audience. Now, what were Nick and Tucker feuding about? Do you remember? Do you remember what it was?
I believe it was Nick Fuentes said, well, Tucker called Nick Fuentes a gay kid in the basement.
Yes.
In Chicago.
Yeah. And then Nick Fuentes responded and talked about Tucker Carlson's father being in the CIA.
But there was another factor of what they were arguing about. There was some substantive stuff. Nick basically said, stop pretending that you understand the young American male. You don't know anything about what we're going through. You're a rich kid, daddy CIA, you're 60 years old. You don't know what it's like to be a 20-something in America. Stop pretending. You're establishment, you're a multi-millionaire. You don't know what it's like not to be able to buy a house, to have a girlfriend, to get laid, to have a career. You don't know. Basically, shut your mouth, Tucker. Sit this one out. That's essentially what Nick said. And it's true. Because there's a lot of young men that are basically have lost their ways. And if they follow the Nick path, they're just going to play the victim,
Got it.
but in a different side of things.
Okay.
To me, Tucker is fake and Nick is at least real.
Yeah. And that's what
You
I
said
think.
that Tucker's following Nick, not Nick's following Tucker.
No, Nick is not following Tucker.
So Tucker is following Nick.
Yeah, I think so.
So a
Yeah.
60-year-old man is following a 25-year-old boy.
Oh, and by the way, when I say this is not a diss to Tucker. I'm in Hawaii 13 years ago, and a girl named Phoebe is teaching me about Snapchat. When did Snapchat come out, Rob? Can you type in when Snapchat came out?
20.
It's got to be 12 or 13 years ago.
Snapchat.
Phoebe was a
2013?
baby. Yeah, exactly. I said 13 years ago.
2011, yeah.
So 13 years ago, I'm sitting there, and she's showing me about this thing called Snapchat. I'm like, what the hell is Snap? She takes the phone, and she's showing it to me. I'm like, wow. Guess who's following who in that moment when it comes down to Snap?
True.
I'm following. So this is not a this. This just means, you're watching, but at the same time, I think one part of it is, call it what you call it. I cannot believe I'm sitting here. Like yesterday's when I'm 3 years away from 50. I'm thinking to myself, I'm 3 years away from 50. That's freaking crazy, right? 13 years away from 60. 23 years away from 70, 33 years away from 80. You
It's
realize
true.
that?
It's true.
But I'm telling
Just-
you,
I'm
we
doing the
can
math
keep
on
doing
it,
the
yeah.
math. 43 from 90.
53 from 100.
Dude, I'm 55 years from 100, bro. And it's going to happen like
Anyways,
that. Tom, you're 5 years from 100.
like this.
I mean,
And imagine what 250
hey,
million
there's
can be.
nothing-
at the-
70.
Can I do
There's
something?
nothing to fear.
Rob,
It's okay.
Gang, it's Black Friday. Odds are, maybe not our audience, but many people today are lined up to want to buy TVs on sale and all this other things. Here's what I learned a long time ago about Black Friday. I used to do that many, many years ago. And then I realized what I'm trying to do is increase my identity and support brands that match the values that I have. If a brand matches the value that you have, go support that brand. If it's not us, go to them. If it's us, support us. That's what we started doing. When I see local business owners do what they do here, I want to support them. And on Black Friday, there's good debt, there's bad debt. Every year when Black Friday comes, my suggestion, go buy an online course on how to do better in whatever skill set you're trying to learn. If it's business planning, if it's communication, if it's selling, if it's coding, whatever it is, invest into some online courses for yourself. So for us, this year, Black Friday, we're doing a couple different things. Today, 30% discount on 99% of our items on the website. Some are even up to 70% discount, okay? The only items that don't have that is the shoe because it's selling out every time we put them up. They sell out. So if you go on the site this weekend, you purchase any items, odds are you're getting 30 to 70% discount. And if you go on some of the offers that we have, it's just insane what things we got going on. But there's three special things. For anybody that purchases over $500, there's a mystery box. There's 19 of them left for those that place orders over $500. If you place an order over $500, these mystery box will be shipped to the first 200, 19 left. Number two, you place an order for over $2,000, which many, many people have already. You will get a shot to be in a drawing where we will pull your name. December 2nd is the last day. From today to December 2nd, we draw a name. That person will be flown in. Go to Casa D'Angelo with all of us here. Then we do podcast prep, and then you're sitting right here next to me on the podcast, and we're asking you about stories on Home Team. So Go to VTmerch.com, place your order. And Rob, if you don't mind going to some of the hottest items that we have, the one that I was talking about, if you can go back one page, this is the hottest item link that we'll have. Of course, it's the shoes. Those are the online courses. All the online courses, the Vault Conference, any of that stuff that we've had, bundle, instead of $10K, you'll pay $997 for it. The shirt that I'm wearing, go a little bit lower. Those shoes which are selling out. The Stefano Ricci collaboration number ties that we have. The USA hat, go a little bit lower up. The Faith Over Fear shirts that we have. The Yetis that are few left. So this link, Rob, if you don't mind putting it below so people can go and place their orders. The watch collection case that you travel with your 3 watches in there. Just a bunch of great items. But this is if you're a wise shopper, this is the day to go to VTmerch.com, place an order, get gifts for folks on Christmas Day. That's going to be around the corner. Do your shopping at VTmerch.com.
If you enjoyed this video, you want to watch more videos like this, click here. And if you want to watch the entire podcast, click here.